This is my new friend, Ricky
Oh,
Bobby.
good boy, Ricky. He's being gentle with the hair.
Good morning, REPCO crew, and welcome to today's episode. Today we are venturing down to beautiful South Carolina and meeting up with our friends Tommy Campbell and Danny Phillips of All Things Wild. Come with us as we follow them on a day in the life of a humane wildlife removal company, rescue a snake, meet some adorable raccoons, and see a Morlet's crocodile up close. Let's get this amazing day started. Tommy and Danny specialize in humane nuisance wildlife removal across the state. Our first stop was to look for an opossum that was seen under the client's house.
Alright, so we've got a ton of possum footprints over here. Going up into this hole. Some nesting material. I think that's possum too. Alright, I'm going to pull some of this stuff out. I don't see anything up in there. But this is all material that the possum moved up. And you see all this sand here? He's actually excavated all that sand from under there. This is the bottom of their sidewalk. So he has pulled all this sand out. There's a huge hollow behind this brick wall, and you can get up in there with the camera here in a second. So this was our point of entry. Customer put some hardware cloth over it, and these are the wires that was chewed up. So this is some of the damage that he was causing. We'll keep moving down. So the first thing, of course, I noticed was all the possum poop. So we have a lot of fresh droppings, some old droppings, and then the second thing I'm noticing is the heavy smell of ammonia, the urine, and then of course the footprints.
While we did not find the opossum, they secured the crawl space to keep wildlife out. Our next call brought us to a house in Columbia, South Carolina, where the homeowners moved to an area that was next to a swamp. They were a bit scared of the native wildlife that lives in the swamp next door, and they hired All Things Wild to sit there and observe and capture some of the animals that were coming onto the property. This gave Tommy and All Things Wild an opportunity to not only help out the residents, but to also educate them about the animals that were coming onto the property.
So this is one of our live snake traps right here. We don't have as much luck with these as we do with the glue boards, but it's a funnel on both ends. The concept is similar to a crab trap, minnow trap. Snake goes up in but can't find his way back out. This one's empty. But see, this is what we want to see. This will be a good ending for the snake. We'll get the snake off of the glue board safely. He looks healthy. He looks angry. It's a brown water snake or a banded water snake. I don't know my water snakes that well, but I can tell you what it is not. And it is not a cottonmouth. And this snake is regularly mistaken for a cottonmouth. 99 out of 100 people here will swear up and down to you that this is an eastern cottonmouth, and it isn't. So let's go ahead and get him off. The Dawn's non-toxic, so I don't mind getting it on his face, his eyes, and around his mouth and his nose. It won't hurt him. I've used Dawn to wash 1 million snakes. So, no more glue. So this, I mean, you can, the average person can see why this snake would be easily mistaken for a cottonmouth. Similar coloration, similar banding. They've got kind of a diamond-shaped head. But if you're looking at snakes every day for the last 35 years, you can tell the obvious signs that separate him from a cottonmouth. And to me, it's the shape of the head is really narrow. The coloration is different. The band markings are different. The position of the eye is very different on all of your water snakes. The belly markings are completely different than that of an eastern cottonmouth. Pretty snake, what I'll probably do is keep them at the house for a few days and just kind of quarantine them. Maybe try to get a meal or two in them, a couple goldfish or anything.
Hydrated again.
Get them hydrated, that's right, yep. What I'll do now is instead of just changing out glue boards and moving on, I'm going to go to the customer and say, look, man, this is what we caught, this is what we have. This is not a cottonmouth, this is a non-venomous species. At first glance, it might look like an eastern cottonmouth or maybe even a copperhead to some people, but it's not. It just helps put their mind at ease a little bit.
Great news! The water snake was rehabilitated and was able to be released back in its natural habitat. Our final stop of the day led us to homeowners that were having a bit of a problem with bats in their attic. So why don't you come along with us and take a look at what we found?
And inside that, there's guano. So all the bats are coming and going right through here. Mm-hmm. Now I can actually get up there and see bats on the inside of that fascia board. So that little aluminum piece of fascia board, all you have to do is pull it back. But you need to go up there with me because I want you to see what's going on with the decking.
They're in the wall.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to, after we get them out, open that wall to get the guano out.
And what do you think about the ceiling?
Let's start with the wall.
Let's start with the wall and then work up.
And work our way up. We know they're in the wall. If there's guano coming out that spot, then they're definitely in the wall.
Yeah, I agree. This is being pulled off so we can screen it properly. To keep any type of nuisance wildlife from getting through there. Rats, bats, squirrels, possums, raccoons, you name it.
So that means that they're in the wall itself.
So they're between.
But I don't hear them today. But you know what I mean. They could be 5 houses down and come back next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean. They'll move from one place to another on a given night.
Well, the bats they aren't in the same position they were a week ago. A week ago they were right here, right below the shingle line. Now they could be 10 feet back or they could be in the neighbor's house for a day or two. So, but they're there.
After checking the outside of the home, we're now going inside up into the attic to get a really good view of exactly what's going on.
Alright, so you can see there's a lot of obvious rodent activity. First of all, the droppings, of course, lots of droppings. And this is just a trail. All this brown stain, it's urine, it's fecal matter, it's body oils from the rodents. So you can follow it. So it's heavy. You can still see it tracking all the way down. See it still right there? It just keeps on going until they run off and then they're gone somewhere. Lots of activity up here, fresh rodent activity. And I'm not surprised that we haven't caught anything yet because, it's 90 degrees outside, so the rats are outside. They're outside during the day or they're under the house where it's cooler. And then at nighttime, they're out foraging and eating and nesting and doing their own thing. This is that air conditioner. You can actually see guano on the inside of the house. So that's all bat waste. So that means the bats are accessing the wall. They're getting up into this little mini air conditioner. So what we're going to have to do is probably cut into the wall, start pulling the insulation out, and start pulling some of the guano out, because that's why this room smells so bad. We might even have to cut a little access hole into the ceiling and get up in there. That's all in good time.
After a long day on the job, it's time to head back to headquarters and check out some of the really cool resident animals at All Things Wild. And this includes some adorable raccoons and a pretty awesome Morlet's crocodile by the name of Margot.
You're not afraid of getting scratched. Just remember, he's like a bear. So I'm gonna knock your glasses off you.
You want to take your glasses?
Yeah. Because he'll get a hold of them. He'll want to try them on.
I paid a lot of money for this hairstylist.
I'm gonna grab my tail. He did try to jump off a couple of times.
Yeah, we don't want to lose him. Hey now.
Giving her a little bit of a, what was that? A little,
He's getting a 25% tip.
yeah, I'm gonna put it on there.
Oh well, you got him in Poo Central.
Well, I mean, I've cleaned that thing out yesterday.
Got your pen and
Hey, quit eating my pen.
So how did you guys find
We
We pulled him out of an attic.
did a raccoon removal and found him up in there with Mama. We never did catch the female, but
No, we never caught the mama.
all in one day. What are you doing?
We've actually got that one on the GoPro, didn't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we got some good footage of that.
What are you chewing on? Quit tearing my stuff up. You're such a little booger.
He's chewing on your. Yeah.
Ricky's discoing.
Beatbox shit. That's MC. That's DJ Yellow.
So is there
Especially if-
anything you would like to tell us about raccoons?
Raccoons
try
are
this at home.
not
Don't
easy
try
to
this
take
at home.
care of. A lot of work. And the behavior of a mini, it's like having a mini bear. They're
With claws.
claws.
They're not trying to hurt you, but I mean, they're just, the claws are sharp.
That's how they
Kind of
play.
like a kitten.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, I was
Got sharp
clean.
claws.
I was clean before I messed with these coons.
You're filthy, dude.
You want to try
All right.
holding them, Seth?
I mean, Ricky, let go. Now, he will scratch you.
Right.
So just deal with it. And he'll chew on your ear, and he'll lick your face, and he will claw at your eyes, but he's not really trying to. He's just holding on.
The cameraman gets molested.
They like shiny stuff, so he'll start picking at your buttons eventually.
Taking all the with camera hog, or what is that called? Whenever they
Like photobomb.
Photobomb, yeah, photobomb by Margot.
Photobomb.
You better be holding on tight when you do this.
Yeah.
All right, so what do you want to tell us about Margot, the Morlet's crocodile?
Margot, the Morlet's crocodile, also known as a Mexican crocodile. She's about 4 years old. They're one of the smaller croc species. They typically don't grow bigger than 6 or 7 feet. The biggest one I've ever seen in captivity was about 7 feet. They're usually the more aggressive of the crocodilian species. Usually not able to be held like this, and definitely not used to work with around kids, but I think I just got lucky. I got the 1 in a million that has a great personality. She's social. She enjoys interacting with people. She's easy to take care of. She's actually pretty resilient. We had her out last spring in some pretty chilly temperatures, and she maintained a good diet, and she's always eaten well. Always been great with people. She's growing, from what I've been told. People that don't see her every day. She's put on some bulk. And she changes colors. She thinks she's a chameleon.
She does look
So she
different,
darkens
almost
up.
like, slate blue and then a darker blue to
Well,
me.
it's because it's kind of cloudy and a little cooler out today, so she's darkened up, helps her absorb just a little extra heat. But when it's sunny out during the dead of summer, she's a nice bright green and has some good yellow and black banding in her. But just a great crocodile. One of my favorite animals. One of the best reptiles I've ever worked with.
What do they eat?
They're carnivores, so she eats everything in the wild. Small turtles, snakes, small mammals, large mammals, depends on what species. Nile crocs and saltwater crocs and black caimans can take down some pretty large prey. But in captivity, she's on a steady diet of small rats, medium rats, maybe the occasional piece of raw chicken is just for just some enrichment, like a treat. Every once in a while, she'll get some crocodilian diet, croc chow, that we'll throw in there on top of her water, and it provides a little enrichment. She has to work a little to get to it and spend some time eating it. Every once in a while, she'll get a piece of fish, like a piece of raw fish.
And so you're target training her with the feeding?
Target training her with rats. Yep. Okay. That way, what I'd like to do is have Margot know when feeding time is approaching, and then when coming out of the enclosure time is approaching, so I can reach in there comfortably and extract her without worrying about her thinking, okay, it's time to eat, and lunging out and scaring me or somebody else. Okay. And we're getting there. It's getting there. Yeah, look at her belly. She's got nice color on her belly.
Like the yellow.
Yeah, very healthy nice crocodile. I mean, she is
very pretty.
Extremely healthy. Yeah, really pretty. Nice and clean, no scars.
Crocs can be pretty.
Definitely. No scars or missing tail. Nice clean scoots. A couple little nicks on her scoots, but just a good looking, hefty. Dude. What is that? Yeah, see, now she won't even open her mouth because we're in social mode. They're super smart animals. She knows when it's time to defend her territory, and she knows when it's time to come out and work with people.
Oh,
and it's going to start raining. So, say goodbye to Margot.
Adios, Margot. She's Mexican, so she can know.
Definitely,
adios.
Yep. Yeah, we might get a little thunderstorm here.
Cool.
So after a long day of helping everybody out with their nuisance wildlife, it's time to head back to Tommy Campbell's place. He owns the facility Wild Reptile Adventures, and that's where our cute little raccoon Ricky Bobby lives. And here we get to see Tommy and Ricky working together because Tommy actually trains Ricky Bobby on how to behave. Watch some of these cool tricks he teaches them.
No. Come on. Look at him, he's like Mr. Tactical. Come on. Oh, dude, that's the first time he's ever done that. Let's get a good distance on this one. Wait. Come on. Go. Come on. Good boy. He's a good boy. Oh, he's... Come on.
Over here.
Good boy. Little chubs. Hey. Hey. And he's like knows exactly where to bite on the arm. Good he is.
Thanks for following us around today in Columbia, South Carolina, and a super big thanks to Tommy Campbell and Danny Phillips with All Things Wild. I'd like to give out a positive comment shout out to Celestial Fire 1. She says, great video. I'm looking forward to your series. A positive comment, it is a bright, beautiful day today. I have the day off work and am enjoying some crafting. Thanks again, Celestial Fire 1, for giving out a positive comment. Don't forget your chance to win a free book. All you gotta do is subscribe, like this video, click that notification bell, and comment down below on what your favorite animal is. We will pick a winner when we get to our 100th subscriber. We'll see you next Friday at 9 a.m. here on YouTube, and we hope you make your day a wild one.